Yo, yo. What's up, everyone? Titanium Taco here today. Gonna give my full thoughts on Ninjago Crystalized, or at least the first half of Ninjago Crystalized. Let me just stop myself right here really quick. This is just gonna be the first 6 episodes because this video is actually gonna be twice as long. So I'll be doing the first 6 episodes today, and then the other 6 episodes in a later video. Now, in this video, I will be kind of going one by one in terms of the episodes, so let's start off with episode 1. First, I gotta say, it's a solid introduction to the season. I like how we start off with another Revenge Stone smuggling operation. Really cool. Got a little glimpse of the spider kind of analyzing the commissioner to see like, oh, can we get this guy to help us? Obviously not, because he's the commissioner of Ninjago. I will say right here, right off the bat, I am not a fan of the new ninja. In this first half, you have to kind of have an opposing side to the ninja, so why not, have the government and the other group of ninja to be the opposing factor to our main heroes. So overall, in concept, the new ninja is pretty good, but I just find them a little too annoying. I get it's their whole gimmick and it works in that sense, and so I guess in that sense their characters work because I find them personally annoying. I kind of sympathize with the ninja. I'm like, damn, these guys kind of suck. But they have their moments, they have their nice moments, but I overall find them just a tad annoying. I also like the 1-year time skip. It helps us kind of realize the amount of time that has passed and where the ninja are at. The only kind of little bit that kind of put me off was Zane's emotions, him turning them off after a year, or was it like right after Nia disappeared? So I'm kind of trying to understand when Zane turned off his emotions, because Cole seems shocked to him turning off his emotions, but from my understanding it sounded like Zane turned them off a long time ago, like around when Nia disappeared. So that's kind of just my only gripe with that little bit. Seeing the ninja having gone their separate ways in this 1-year time skip as well, it was also really nice to see. Of course, Cole and Zane kind of stayed behind in the monastery with Wu, because they're the most likely to have stayed behind. Obviously Kai, because he's, Nia is his sister. Jay, for very obvious reasons, left because, he's depressed. That was his girlfriend who disappeared. And Lloyd obviously saw Nia as a very close friend to him. I also gotta say that I really like that we have the mayor in this season as well. Really solid character, I gotta say. Overall, the episode was well paced. I will say them getting back together, I wouldn't say it was rushed, but I think it could have been touched a little bit better. I will say though, I like how in further episodes, even though they're back together, they're still not fully cooperating and they're kind of out of touch as well. So overall, this episode was really nice, good introduction, and it was pretty well paced. Episode 2, I gotta say, was also a really solid episode with the whole kind of seeing where Nia is. So we got the first episode where we saw where the ninja were at, and now we get to see this episode where Nia's at. Gotta say, my boy Juan, even though he fell off the ship at the start, gotta say I really like him for whatever reason. He's a really cool guy. I don't know why. It was also really interesting to see Niad in this episode. So we kind of get confirmation that regardless of however many people turn into the ocean, there still can be an elemental master of water. And I will make a whole separate video on Niad's appearance, or Niad's appearance, whatever her name is, her appearance, because it is a little bit confusing on how the whole elemental power water works, but I'll explain that, or try to explain in a different video. But it's still really cool to see her in this episode. I gotta say also that Nia remembering who she is was also very, very nice, very emotional. As you can see here in my reaction, I was pretty much crying in this episode. That little flashback scene with the Wilhelm era of Ninjago was also a really nice touch. I'm really glad they included that. And just little details like Nia not being able to be out on land was really nice as well. And the fact that she also kind of changed her fear, not necessarily changes in the sense that she's probably not afraid of being a normal person, but the fact that she's more afraid of being without her friends is a nice touch as well, where she wants to be with everyone rather than be in the ocean and be kind of forgotten, because she'd rather be powerless and be with everyone than powerful and not be with anyone. So overall, glad to see that Nia is around doing well, but it kind of goes downhill for me here. But then this season does pick up after. So with episode 3, another pretty solid episode. We get the ninja kind of bickering between each other, trying to figure out who's smuggling all the bench stone. They then eventually do kind of end up having a lead and try to stop, what's her face? Misdemeanor, sorry, I can't remember her name. Misdemeanor. So they try to stop Misdemeanor with the whole bench stone. The new ninja butt in. It's a good whole action sequence, but again, I just don't like them. I find the new ninja annoying, but they're here to stay, I guess. I also really want to point out that the animation this season has also been just amazing, super good, super great. I just want to point out the lighting in these two, or at least in the first bit of this episode, is just amazing. I just love it. I don't know why these two specific shots I just find so amazing. Again, like I said previously, the team not being able to cooperate that well is really good. The fact that they're bumping into each other as well shows that they're rusty, because they separated for an entire year. They don't really know how to work as a team anymore again. So that's a nice touch that I liked they included this time around, versus when Tournament of Elements happened. They kind of went their own separate ways, but they were still able to come back together and work as a team. I also like the Kai and Jay dynamic, the fact that they don't see the eye to eye, because one is, grieving over Nia differently. And the fact that, Kai spilled the water and they get into that little fight was also really nice. And this is kind of the part where I start to be like, eh. And the reason I say that is because I feel like Nia's appearance is just a little bit too convenient. I understand that Nia transferred or showed herself there because of the sprinklers. She was able to manifest there. But I feel like the whole bringing back Nia was just a bit too convenient, a bit too soon. I understand that there has been an exactly 1 year gap between Seabound and Crystalized, as well as in real life. I would have liked to see Nia return after maybe an adventure that the ninja have had to kind of get back together as a team. I understand that Jay said that without Nia we're not really a team, but I think it would have been better to see them grow as a team themselves, kind of like push forward without Nia, and then Nia coming back. I think that would have been better. Yes, Zane's sacrifice was also, kind of similar situation, but I think the problem with, or the difference between the two, is that Zane's a robot, and one could have assumed anyways that he would have come back. And the problem with Nia's is that it was, advertised as this is irreversible. She goes into the sea, she becomes the sea, done, she's gone, you can't change that. And that was the thought process behind it. So the fact that she's brought back so soon kind of makes it like, well, what was the point then? Like, oh, it's irreversible, but oh no, just kidding, ha ha ha. So I like that she's back, but at the same time I don't like that she's back. So yeah. And then is Asphira really the only person who could drain the powers? Probably at the moment, yes. There's obviously other solutions. There probably is other solutions that to absorb Nia's powers, because as she says in the episode that she has to have the powers absorbed. So Asphira is obviously the most logical and most recent incident that where Kai lost his power. So it makes sense that Asphira would be the only person at this moment to drain the powers, but there have been other ways to do it, but it's just a matter of like the resources at hand. So it makes sense. The only thing I fear is that because Kai got his powers when Asphira stole his powers, I'm afraid that Nia will have that same situation where like, oh, Asphira took my powers, but then I could get them back. I do hope that if Nia does retain her powers, she starts to go start merging with the sea again, because just because she had her powers taken away from her and she starts getting them back, because she already made that decision to merge with the sea, when she gets her powers back, she would start merging with the sea again, whether she wants to or not. Well, out of her own will. She already made that sacrifice and said, you know what, I'm with the sea, but since I don't have my powers now, I can't be with the sea. But now that I'm getting my powers back, I gotta reconnect with the sea. Like it's a forced thing on her. So it's either a matter of fact that Nia just never gets her powers back, or she gets her powers back, but she has to reconnect with the sea. She's forced to reconnect with the sea. The elemental power just is like, nope, you promise, you're the sea now. But moving on, episode 4, good episode. The mayor being logical about Asphira letting loose is a really, really cool thing that they did in this season, because it just makes sense. Why would the mayor be like, you know what? You're right. I will let Asphira out. Like, no, of course not. I probably would be like, no, Asphira, no, you're not letting her out. And then, of course, we get the return of Skylar. Gotta say, I love it. I will say, though, the whole breaking into the prison to free Asphira out could probably been done a little bit better. I feel like Zane could have easily just, had his cloaking and just walked in as a prison guard and kind of freed Asphira, because the thermal sensors also don't make sense, because if you really look at it, it looks like you could still kind of see a shape. So I just why would they even have thermal sensors to begin with? Like, and then in the aisle that they pop up out of, they don't have cameras there. Like, this whole breaking Asphira out scene just doesn't make sense, and especially because Lloyd and Zane use their powers when Lloyd specifically said don't use your powers. So the ninja should have been caught then and there, right after, they freed Asphira. The guard should have been like, wait, ice powers, ninja, aren't these the old ninja? Like, what the heck? Like, this episode doesn't make entirely sense in the fact where, they break out Asphira. So the whole sequence still made for some very funny moments, but I still think the whole breaking Asphira out could have been done better. And then the whole other bit with Cole and Jay was also done pretty nicely. I like how they kind of, had throwbacks to the other artifacts locked in the vault. And then one more thing to take notes from this episode is that Asphira has a new voice actor. From my understanding, or from what I've heard, is Tommy Andresen said that the original voice actor just didn't want to come back. She retired, so that's fine. Asphira's new voice actor is actually also pretty well. Name on screen right now, so good performance. I'm not gonna lie, it's almost the same. I haven't heard them like together, like back to back, but honestly, it's a good Asphira voice. She really has that revenge that nailed down. Then we reach episode 5. I gotta say, I was giving you props, Mayor, but in this part, Mayor, you're kinda dumb. Because he's like, oh, the ninja broke into prison? What were they wearing? Black? Oh, well, it can't be the old ninja. It's not like the old ninja came to ask about Asphira, and then all of a sudden some ninja break out Asphira. Like, bruh. Come on, make the connections, my man. Like, obviously, you can't fully, be like, it was you guys, but you technically can. The evidence is there. They're ninja, they used powers, and the ninja asked the mayor for Asphira to be free. Like, oh, bruh. So up until this point, I thought the mayor was being written pretty well. This part, not so well, but after the fact, yes, he's overall a good character, but I gotta say, this was probably the dumbest thing the mayor has said. In this episode, of course, we have Asphira back in the monastery, and this is the episode where they have to hijack some trucks to get Asphira staff, because the staff was not in the vault at Borg Tower. They get in contact with Borg, which I don't know why they didn't do that to begin with. Like, hey, yo, Borg, can you help us get the staff? Yeah, sure, buddy. Let me try to put it aside. I see them trying to take it, Let me put it aside. Let me hide it for you guys. No, but oh, they took it. So let me still tell you where it is. So I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, they got what the information they wanted. But I feel like, they wouldn't have risked it if they just asked Borg earlier. And then the fact that Pixel is building all these vehicles super fast is actually really kind of cool, because she probably has a little bot helpers, which in the trailer it seemed that she has some helpers like those bots. So really nice that Pixel could probably build things super fast. And we had a good sequence, I gotta say, good whole sequence, high sequence. I will say again, the animation this season is just superb. Like, the nightlife in Ninjago is chef's kiss. The new ninja in this episode were actually bearable. I actually like them in this episode. Like I said, they're okay in some parts, but I honestly find them really annoying in other parts. And then I will say, I will not forgive the ninja for this, because they almost ran over my boy Okino. Unacceptable. You cannot do that to my boy Okino. Zane, how could you? Literally, my favorite character almost ran over my other favorite character. Like, bruh. And then, of course, Kai, at the end of the day, messed up. And honestly, it makes sense, kinda, I mean, one of them was bound to mess up anyways, because, they haven't really worked so much in incognito, They've always been like, yo, Kai, Zane, Jay, help me out, use your powers, blah, 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 So the fact that Kai let that slip makes sense. So overall, solid episode. Mayor, come on, use your brain. Then we reach episode 6. I will say, Good episode. Up until when Nia comes back, I guess. The whole Wu and Asphira montage, gotta say, really like it. The fact that, you know, we get confirmation that Wu is thousands of years old is also really nice. In this episode, we also get a glimpse of the depowered and also confirmation that they're depowered golden weapons. Also really nice touch. Of course, the ninja come back with the staff and, you know, Asphira does what Asphira does. She does the revenge thing. Very in character, I gotta say. Like, honestly, who could have guessed? Oh my god, Asphira and revenge. But very quickly, Asphira was, you know, turned and she's like, okay, the Popo is here. You got the only escape plan. I will help you, you know, break Nia from her curse, I guess you could say. So the new ninja come in. This is where I find them annoying again. Because, I don't know, just it's their whole dialogue. It's like, bro, just shut up. Just shut up. But we get a nice, cool little fight sequence. Nia comes back again. Boom, she's back. Asphira's like, oh, you're helping me, okay, and she's off. Nia's back. The ninja gets sent to prison, and Asphira gets recruited by the Crystal King, or Mr. Kabuki Mask guy. Really nice. They have planted once again the seed. Well, they've been planting the seed with the whole Venge Stone, but again, they planted the seed with the Crystal King, you know, being foreshadowed for the later part of the season. And there you guys have it. That is the first 6 episodes. Those are my thoughts. Leave a comment down below what you guys think of these first 6 episodes, and I will see you all in the next one. Taco out.